Can I? It looks good. Bit. I have to lower the bit rate to make it go a bit better. And we'll go with commentary in just a minute. Give me 1 second. Should be better now, I think. The stream. I put it at 720p because otherwise it's too much to run. I'm on a temporary, I would say, until 19th April. I don't know if it will be like permanently or temporary. Anyway, sort of router, which is not a router, works more like a phone hotspot. So yeah. It's not that fast, but I'm pushing it to the limit probably right now. Anyway, so we should be good. Yeah, we should be good. Welcome everyone to Tier 1 in what is the yes it is in what is a finale for Tier 1 here in FWL. I was just going to check quickly the sponsors channel to get rid of the sponsors, which sponsor obviously F1 David Racing will be providing £5 Amazon gift cards to the winners of Tier 2 and 3. F1 is a community is the community side of this league. Make sure to check them out. Refine the support over 40,000 sim races by helping them find leagues, commentators and more, and then we'll be providing an automobile from print to the winners of all 3 tiers. Superfun Racing creates F1 merchandise and collectibles. They will be providing the winner of Tier 1 and 2 with a 2023 F1 season calendar of their choice. High Caliber Apparel is a US-based clothing brand established in 2021. They have a close relationship with F1 WoW and will provide a custom champions poster for the winner of Tier 1 and 2. Next Level Racing used to be our title sponsor. and we'll be providing an FGT cockpit to the winner of Tier 1 and 2, as well as a giveaway open to all drivers who complete at least 75% of races across the season for an FGT Light cockpit. Pit Stop Prizes are a competition website offering amazing motorsport inspired prizes such as signed memorabilia, merchandise, GP tickets, and more. That will be kindly providing a £10 voucher to P2 of all T's. Lagara Motorsport produce motorsport clothing across a range of collections, ranging from travel hallmarks, tributes, and special projects, and they will be providing one t-shirt or choice to the winners of all 3 tiers. Racetrack Art produce over 700 different layouts of racetracks from all over the world, finishing materials ranging from wood, carbon, and neon LED. They will be providing a custom trophy to the winners of all 3Ds. RCS GFX are graphics designer for Season 8. 60 Iconic is a company that provides F1 canvas art that can be displayed in any room, and they will be providing a canvas to the winner of Tier 1. This is a reaction time F1 podcast. Is run by our fellow driver Big Homie, who's racing in Tier 2 or in Tier 1. Yeah, in Tier 1 I think. Yeah, in Tier 1. He's racing in Tier 1. Sorry for the confusion there. I mean, he used to race, but yeah. Where speaks about all things F1, so make sure to give it a listen. And they will be providing a $25 Xbox gift card to the winner of Tier 1. Mopush USA, our title sponsor for Season 8, they offer super high quality gloves that can be used for karting and sim racing, and they will be providing a pair of gloves for the winner of THT, a 60% off code for the P2 and P3 of each tier, and a 50% server-wide discount code. Formula Prints, finally, is a company that produces a wide range of products such as phone cases, posters, mugs, and more, and they will be providing the winner of Tier 1 and 2 with an F1 phone case of their choice. So that is your sponsors for Season 8. As we go over to the commentary part, we have currently Shui lined up in pole position, provisional pole position obviously, with a 19.107. Jack Brand with a 119.371 follows him behind, or I would say lines up behind, as Shadow is currently on a flat lap but actually aborted and let Sparks pass now. Shadow currently sitting on a 119.632 in third, and in fourth on a 119.678, just a few hundreds off Shadow. As we have Host Filler, no, Matt Copper actually. Matt Copper on a lap. So Annie Red in fourth, then Mika Hextra in fifth on a 119.728, then Sparks with a 119.801 in sixth. Skis in seventh with a 119.881 as Matt Copper proceeds to go third, fastest with a 119.412. Then we have Hosfila pitting Damio, currently starting his another flying up. Hostfila on a 119.960 in 9th, Chaz Mister in 10th with a 120.053, Simon is in 6th, Damio, who's in 11th right now on a 120.070, who's looking to improve right now, Wickers on a 120.103 in 12th, Sewi Faze and Callum, both the Alfa Romeo drivers, in 13th and 14th, with a 120.108 and a 120.177 respectively. Sheehan in 15th with a 120.319. His teammate Jimbo in 17th with a 121.025. Finn, meanwhile, in the middle of the two McLarens with on a 119.629 in 16th. And finally, Jack Latford, who's currently trying to improve their lap time, currently going to set a 119.499. Climbs the leaderboard up to 4th place, 2 places ahead of their teammate, and gets Shadow in the middle of the two Mercedes, and Bram and Toastman both retired due to probably qualibans, I think, or just crashed out. Meanwhile, Damien think he aborted him, and so lets Jimbo by. He's currently trying to improve. Actually, they're going to start their final lap now, so we're going board with them since there are still a few minutes remaining. So So until we get close to the end of qualifying, I think we'll go more with single drivers over to the lap times. Shadow meanwhile improved the lap time to a 119.423 and pushed Jack Ledford to 5th. So he got 4th then. But the top 3 remains as Shui, Jack Brand and Matt Copper. So no one else able to go. No one able to go below 119, but no one able to get in the top 3 as we speak. By the way, Jimbo meanwhile wants to first chicane of his one of his flying laps. I think that's his second. I may be wrong though. Goes through Lesmo 1 and through Lesmo 2. By the way, forgot to tell you, yeah, it's quite obvious, but Autodromo Nazionale Monza. And this will be kind of sadly the finale to a great season that has been. We'll go to season 9, hopefully with some interesting driver transfers. But hopefully we'll surely enjoy this last tier 1 race, and then tomorrow we'll have tier 3 racing at Monza. And then next week at Melbourne, and tier 2 ending the season in here in Monza as Jimbo lines up behind the teammate in 17th with a 120.560. Meanwhile, we have FWL on a lap as well. He goes through Lesmo 2. And he almost loses it, has to take the gravel there. So he probably aborted this one. Weakers meanwhile on a flying lap as well, but he has no EIS, so he probably finished a lap earlier. In fact, he got 4th and got and climbed the leaderboard up to 4th place on a 119.417, just 5 thousandths of Matt Copper for the P3. It's Jack Brand currently on a flying lap, which he actually won't set because he went pretty slow through turn 2. So I think he's waiting for the timer to go down. He's not wasting any EIS either. So yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't commentate last week's Grand Prix due to having quite a bit of a cough, cold. I couldn't speak properly because I had no voice basically. My throat was also messed up. So yeah, but today I can stream and I can commentate as well. And last week we had a pretty interesting race, and I couldn't commentate. So that was pretty much, was it a coincidence? I don't know. Hopefully we'll have a similar race today, because that one was quite interesting to watch, especially for the last couple of laps, as you could have seen if you watched. Meanwhile, Finn starts the last series of flying laps, as we still have 2 minutes and 15 remaining in this session. We still have quite a minute to go before we can officially say the drivers will be starting their last flying lap. Right now they are starting, they can do 2 runs right now if they cross the line in time. Meanwhile, Finn goes purple sector 1. Goes purple sector 1, and he's on a 120.69 right now. Can he get to that top 3? He gets onto second DRS zone of this track, getting a tow from a Mercedes ahead, who's not letting him by, and actually oh my, oh well, he'll still have another run, but he has no EIS. I mean, he has 60%, but it won't be enough. And I think he won't like what has just happened. I think the Mercedes may have been just in AI mode or something. As speaking of Mercedes, we have Jack Ledford currently starting will be the first person to actually complete this qualifying session. We go on board with them for that reason. Can they take Paul off Shui, or will they line up behind Shui in second? As Tier 1 is also one of the races which will have dry conditions, since Tier 3 will be in between dry and wet, so we will be assisting we'll be watching a dry and wet race, while Tier 2 will be light rain, so wet conditions only for Tier 2, where I drive, so we're hoping for dry conditions, but hopefully the rain should make a bit of interesting racing, since this is the temporal speed anyway. Yes, we're open noir for Jack Lefford as he proceeds to go round the second sector and set a 52.7, which gets him the pole for sector 2 as we speak. As Finn retires from the session, I think he didn't really like what has happened earlier on with Mercedes. I don't know who that was, as Enred completes the session in 7th, Chesabisser in 12th. We still have quite a lot of drivers to go through before it's over. Jack Ledford now about to cross the line. He does so now, gets P2 119.121, but it's not over yet, as we have actually not so we face Callum goes up into 7th with a 119.587, as the Alpine sparks the aboard. So we go on board with Keys, as he is also not flying lap. Everyone is, but he's completing his flying lap right now. Goes P8. Subway Phase proceeds to go P10. We then have Damio. I'm not wrong. Yes, we do. Damio goes up into P9. Hostfiller just completing the lap right now. We have the McLaren of Sheehan not improving. Then Red Bull of Shadow. Sure is still on a lap. Meanwhile, Hostfiller crosses the line in P14, stays where he is. Is Shui actually spun round Parabolica, and Michael Hackstra gets P10. Shui spun round Parabolica, couldn't set a better time, but he still safe from possible, time stealers, I should say, time thieves. Can we insert another term and call whoever gets the pole position time thief? I don't know, it just came to my mind. Makes sense as well. That is... Oh, wait a second, I wasn't looking when that happened. Apparently Jack has got a 5-place grid penalty for what? I want to check this. Also because I couldn't see what was going on. Gliding with Callum. This happened earlier on in qualifying, probably. I wasn't looking at it. But he did get a 5-place grid penalty, so he will be starting P7. Ahead of Keys and behind Callum. Well, that's not great news for the Mercedes driver, but he still starts in the top 10, so still point zone for him, which is at least good. That's the positive side from that. And he's 14,000 off Shui. Only driver who was below a 10th on Shui. No one else managed to do that. But I think we can pretty much say Jack Ledford and Shui have been had quite some fights even in the past in this league, and now they're back fighting for it, even though none of them is leading the championship right now, but they could be. Depends on how the race goes today. There's no sprint, only a race. 25 points, actually 26 to gain as the maximum points, so whoever wins here could obviously, if they are up in the championship fight. I'm gonna read you the standings quickly. Oh yes, Bram had a qualification ban. I think he didn't settle up. No, he didn't. So right now, Bram is leading with 127 points, Shui 99 points. Keys is also not far off. So to win, actually, Bram did actually get the title. Technically, it's more of the constructors fight. No, never mind. Not even that one. No, I was pretty sure though, because they said in the Discord that Bram still had to, finish the Monza race to win, but it's not true because he's got 127 points, and you'd need 100 by 1 point. 1 point. Yeah, even with 26 points, because Bram has 100 points, you'd need like 27 points. 101 points. So Bram did win the title, but there's still an open fight for that top 3 in the standings, since it gives you prizes. Whoever comes on top could be getting that top 3. Well, anyway, could not have that, but yeah, anyone from P2 to P6, P7 has the chance of getting that top 3 today. And also Jack Ledford has the chance to get P3, not P2 but P3, but still a podium point, top 3 position, which gets you prizes in Tier 1, Tier 2, and also Tier 3. I'm not wrong. Yeah, I should. As we get back to the starting grid to start this 27 lap race around Monza, sample of speed, and we'll be going with the lights in a few seconds. Hopefully. Will we? We're waiting for someone to load in, I think. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Then for Monza in Tier 1. And it's like 7. Away we go for this finale in Tier 1 as Jack Brender gets a great start. So does Shuin. Already lines up behind the Red Bull driver. As we go up into turn 1 already. We are 3 wide at turn 1. As it goes pretty smooth. Jack Brender has to get the corner and gets 3 seconds for it. As Callum goes side by side with Wickers, pushes him onto the grass a bit. And Wickers loses the place on him as Callum gains the 3rd place. Matt Copper going on Wickers as well as Jess Mister gets dropped a bit further down the grid there in P20. As we have a few more overtakes, Matt on Wickers as he gets past him. He creates a bit of a roadblock there and he gets spun by his academy mate Shadow as he's now in 6th. He's now last in 20th. Toesman also fighting with Mika Hexstrike right now, and he keeps the place on him for the moment. Now so far so good, as we still have some overtakes happening at the front and at the back. Shadow pretty close to Damio, so is Enra to Shadow, as he's pretty much pushing him at this point. Around this last sector 3 straight, before going onto the main straight, he's going onto the outside of Parabolica to get that 6th place. He still has some work to do if he wants to get up there where Shui is. He's already pulled a 1.1 second half gap to the rest of the pack, to Callum. As what is Vanira doing there? Pushing the Rebel driver over to the side of the track there, as Jack Letford gaining places here. Skis gets quite a bit of a bad exit as Toesman had to take the escape road there at turn 1. I wonder what happened. Both AlphaTauris, this is the first time I see this, both AlphaTauris in the 2 last places as Sheehan gets spun by Chessmister. Those two have been having quite of a argument in track, as Shadow also gets spun. What is happening to the Rebel Academy in those last races, as And as I speak about that, Jack Leffert also spins around Lesmo 1. I wonder if he got spun or if he spun it himself. But he's now last in 19th. Lots of drivers spinning, but a few, many of them surviving still. Those first couple of laps. Sheehan spins once again, and Jack does the same. There's Mika Hakstra trying to get the place on Jimbo. And Finn is also trying to get the place on Silver Face. He's trying to run away. Finn doesn't think so, as he's closing up. So is Mika Hakstra, now going on the what will be the inside turn 1. And Hostfiller also making the move on Bram. Keys, meanwhile, with Sparks looking up, Keys has to let him by. As Mac Hopper also gets the chicane there. The first chicane, turn 1 and turn 2. Finn gets dropped even further down the grid now. Lost 2 places from there. Wonder if he got a bad exit, probably did. Hostfiller is now closing up after overtaking Bram. No one wants to place on the Alpine. He cannot get it yet, as there's not much speed to go for it. Jack Latford retires in the pits, and Toastman spins to colliding with Chess Mister, I think. I think they both collided as weakest spins at Lesmo 1. That is not good for the AlphaTauris. The AlphaTauris having quite, and it's their home race, speaking about the team's location in real life, based in Italy. And just like Ferrari, though they're part of an English academy, the Rebel Academy. Yeah, Rebel Academy is based in England, but Rebel is Austrian. No, that. This Ram trying to get the place on win. Now who's going backwards now? He's getting dropped massively down the order. I wonder if he got damage. We're gonna check in a moment as Jim Holmes rear ends Silver Faced as he manages to not to do that and gets passed by Hostfiller now for the 11th place, just 1 place off the P10 point zone. Jack Leffert now leaves the session. Not the good race for the Mercedes driver, who's ending the season like that in the pits, in the with a DNF next to their name. Hopefully that's the season done and next season will be better for them, just like any other driver who's had a bad season this season. When I check if someone got wing damage here, no one does, so quite weird. I think he's going backwards in the grid. I mean, I think he's a reserve. I don't want to be wrong here, but I think he is, because if I remember correctly, Big Homie used to drive here. I don't know if he still does, because he has no Alpine role whatsoever in the Discord, so I don't know. I haven't been following driver transfers that closely, you know, to get teams insights. I mean, still, it's the end of the season, so I'll do it after this race, like anyone else. Meanwhile, Damio trying to go for a move on Animred, who's managed to climb up to P3 after qualifying not so well and having not a good start, still staying in the point zone, but yeah. The Sparks trying to go for a move on Keys now. They're still side by side as Hostfiller gets spun in the background, or actually in the foreground, should I say. As he gets dropped behind Bram, almost behind Finn here. And Sparks manages to get the place on Keys, so does Mika Hakstra. And so with FaZe meanwhile is catching behind. They're all close to each other, so they all have the eyes on each other, which is not good when you're fighting for positions. And it's lap 5 out of 27, well, when you don't have that much of race distance here. Mika Hakstra looks closer to Keys, to Sparks than anyone else does to have each other. but he doesn't go for the move just yet, and Sparks locks up in the meantime. Bram and Jimbo going side by side at turn 1 and 2, and Bram takes the 11th place, now on the hunt for Sewood Face's 10th place for a single point, which gives you. Oh, we have quite a fight here between Jack Brand, Matt Copper and Damio and Animred for that 3rd place, and not too far behind we have Sparks bringing another train with him, so this is not good for this 4-car train ahead who's trying to fight for a top 3, and if Sparks manages to catch up, that will transform into an 8-car train, which should give us some plenty of action to watch here. Jack Brand gets dangerously close to Matt Copper before Ascari, and Sparks also catching up now, so we could say we now have lots of cars. Look at that minimap, look at how many cars are close to each other right now. I don't think we've ever seen an 8-car train before. Only if we had drivers who held up others. Sheehan spins once again, gets passed by Shadow now. And Hosfiller gets passed by Finn. As he goes in the barrier there. Doesn't get a terminal damage, but he does get, I think, a bit of front wing damage from that. And so with Faison trying to go for the move on Keys now. Keys didn't get the best of access round turn 2, but he's still on it. He still wants to keep that place, but he has to wait behind for the moment. So with Faison is on his way to get the place on the Ferrari, and his academy mate Mika Hakstra. Spiller has to pit. Yeah, he did have wing damage as Finn, as I said earlier. He does have wing damage, Finn. I know what for, but he does have wing damage. Sorry for the loss of the action there. Sheehan retires in the pits. Host now comes out of the pits, but Matt Copper was fighting with Jack Brand earlier on. Jack Brand managed to get the place on him now, as Demi is really close to Animate, trying to go for a move on him, but he had to wait. He was looking for it. He's waiting now. Sparks now going on what will be the outside of turn 1. Will he have enough speed round this straight before this straight ends? He has to break a bit late. He gets dropped and he gets pushed in the grass there. They're still side by side. This could be Verstappen versus Hamilton. It almost is, as here comes Mika Hakstra to gain a double overtake on both Sparks and Matt Copper, but Matt Copper is still not giving up. He still wants to keep that place, so he's still going side by side with him round the outside, but he has to see the position now. And Sparks is going for it also on set with face. He gets a bit, he almost gets pushed on the gravel there, and he waits behind now. The two Williams trying to both gain the same places here, but they're stuck behind this train, which has been running for quite a while now. They do have the EIS now, and by burning EIS, they're trying to gain the place on the Alpine ahead, but they cannot go side by side around the Discovery, so they decide to wait behind for the time being, and that is basically what this train is all about: gaining enough speed to hopefully climb the leaderboard and get up to P3, which is being held by Animate, and he's doing a great job in keeping Damien behind, even though they're academy mates, but that's another story. They're still fighting for it, as Keys meanwhile closing up on Sparks. Will his teammate be able to gain the same place? Or he's too far back? No, he's too far back for it. And Keys, like that, just gains the place, as we have a massive lockup from Subway Phase ahead, who's trying to fight for that 7th place on Matt Copper, who was running before P5 earlier and got dropped to P7 after the weird exit he's got turn 2. Spin retires in the pits now. He won't be receiving any points, but he wasn't anyway in P15, though he could have still raised. Never give up, you know. Even if it seems hard, you know, when things seem hard in races, you still try not to give up, try to continue. You never know what could happen. I haven't seen a safety car this race, and I may have just called for it, I think. We'll see. Bram now goes for the overtake on Sparks. The DRS, EIS, and gets the move done. Now lines up behind his teammate. This DRS tactic works pretty well, as you can see, between teammates. And I hope I just haven't unlocked some possible new tactic for other teams by saying that. With face closing up meanwhile on Matt Copper. He's just 3/10 behind as we have someone going into the pits. That is Sparks. On to the goes from mediums to hards, I think. Yeah, I think the mediums may be trying, or maybe he may be trying to do an execute, but he may be also had reached his maximum tile. Where? I mean, maximum is something odd to say, but you know what I mean. Oh, my microphone started ticking. Okay. Should be fixed now. I hope. Let me know if it's better now. Anyway, while we wait to okay, good enough. So if he's been trying to get really close to Matt Copper, trying to make the move on him, but Jack Brand is trying to also get the move on his teammate, and it's not the same thing when you get the move on a different driver that isn't your teammate. But it's still a place that you gain. You may still want to fight with your teammate. As Callum now pits. And Shui will still have to pit, so Callum could have the advantage here of possibly gaining a place with Shui here. I could be wrong, but you know. I mean, they'll be on this lowest tire as well, but if you gain a place, you gain a place. Since Shui, I think, will be pitting quite late. Because I'm just saying, you can technically go on the softs, especially if there's a safety car, but you could be trying that. Who knows? It's a strategy, it's a possible strategy. Meanwhile, said with FaZe, as I didn't commentate that, got the place of Matt Copper. Now Matt Copper going even further down. As he gets passed by Keys, Shadow gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. Specifically says corner cutting, so I wonder why he's done to get that. It's Bram. Bram trying to get the place his teammate got earlier. As we have another spin, Ascari, that is first driver getting caught by the Ascari exit. That is Jimbo getting dropped out of the point zone, and Callum says thank you to Jimbo for that. He's 6 seconds behind the rest of the pack. He could be starting to catch up for real now. And that won't be bad for him, especially since he knows everyone else still has to pit. And if there's no safety car, this could help him a lot. As Jimbo now pits, quite an early pit stop. He may have got damage actually, which makes sense. Has he got damage? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. That is why. But he will now have to bring his mediums for 16 laps, which they will not last. So he may have to do another pit stop unless he's lucky enough to have a safety car which reuses tire wear. Mika actually looking close to Damio now. Damio, who's got passed by his teammate, who's looking faster than Animat now. And he's 11 seconds. 11 seconds behind Shui. Shui's just been chilling right now. He's just been pulling off an 11-second gap like that, while the other pack stays behind and watches that happen. As Damio pits. Damio pit is on medium, so obviously he had to pit earlier than the hard runners. It just means that also will have to pit quite soon. I think he may do that now. As Bram going on the move on Matt Copper now on the inside of turn 1. He gets the plays nicely done. Gets the move nicely done. And goes away. This tactic working quite well for Williams, not gonna lie. And that's what I tried. We're gonna reveal an inside information. That's what I tried last season with. Was it last season? No, it wasn't last season. Two seasons ago in season 6, with Lotus up in Belgium. Yes, tactic, which got us a 2-3 in Belgium, if you remember. There's still that race uploaded on YouTube, but I may be wrong. I don't know. I don't know if it was season 6. It probably was though. It's walking fine. It always walks fine if you're at fast tracks. Doesn't walk fine in straight circuits. Straight circuits, the opposite walks. Just using ERS. Or just, you know, staying behind the driver. Even if you have the ERS, you still gain time. And that's what I experienced. Well, Jack Brand on 9 right now with DRS. Tries to get the second place on him. Will he let him? No, he will move to the outside line to cover possible overtake. This almost pushing him round turn 1 and 2, but he is behind. And Animate keeps the place for now. This is not helping them because behind we have Mika Hakstra catching up. He's just 6 tenths behind. He could try a move anytime on those two if they fight too hard. They come to the second chicane now. And Bram looks also close on his teammate. But who's closest is Mika Hakstra. Mika Hakstra is not been having that bad of a race. It's rather pretty good so far. It's about 14 out of 27. It's about we are basically right in the right halfway through. As in, I can find the terms. Oh, as Mika Hakstra and Jack Brand both going to the pit. Mika Hakstra almost hits Jack Brand. So could it be the time for runners to pit, or could this be an undercut from Jack Brand on possibly Anirudh and Shui? We'll see. As they all go for mediums, and this is important now to see where they end up, because this will be what will gain them time, or will lose them time. It depends. Meanwhile, Bram and Macopper also going to the pits as Damio gains the place and Macopper who pit earlier. And Sparks also does. And Macopper leaves the pit in P12. So we'll now have to warm up the tires and gain 2 places to enter the point zone once again. We still have 5 drivers in total who are yet to pit. So you'll have to still wait to see some more action to unfold at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza. As after those pit stops, Keys managed to catch up on Silver Face, and possibly as Anira goes into the pits, and so does Keys. So this is leaving Silver Face and Shui still staying out on those old hard tires. So does Toastman. Toastman stays out as well. He's now in P3 after being in last place. He's now up into P3. My Italian are getting hurt there. Jack Brand manages to get right behind Anirudh like it was earlier, but Jack Brand now has the upper advantage as Anirudh has to warm up the tires. Will Jack stay behind or not? No, he won't. He will go for it, but Anirudh will defend quite well and let Mika Hakstra gain a bit of time on them. And look at them, they're both going for Anirudh defending with his life now on Jack Brand, who wants to get the place at all costs. Shu now pits. Shu now pits. Now it's important to see what Sir does. If Sir stays out, he could pay off. No, he decides to go in. Toastman can decide to either stay out or go in. He will still stay possibly P2 or P3. He stays out. Shui, as he gains the place on Sir, Shui comes out now, so he did gain time on those. Yeah, he did have 11 seconds to be fair, so it's not like those would have gained any time on him, but they go 3 wide actually at turn 1, and Jack ran like that against the place on. Oh, he gets spun. He gets almost spun by Brander. Jack Brander gets the place on Animate, and so does Mika Hatras, now going side by side with Bram for that 5th place, and Jack is trying to pull away hard now because Bram is catching up. And Brown on this medium target bound, looking way faster than he did earlier, trying to follow others behind with Dirtier. Obviously, that meant he was a bit lower. But now that he doesn't have Dirtier to affect him, he can possibly show off, not show off, but like, you know, catch up to the top 3. It's Jack Brand. You can see how much he's pushing. Gets 3 seconds for track limits, and so does Sparks. Toastman is yet to pit. He still stays out. Oh well. Toastman deciding to go for possibly softs here. What it looks like, I mean, or mediums, but it will be really late. I think at this point you could go to softs, to be fair. And Bram gains the place on Jack Brand meanwhile, to try and hunt Callum for the 3rd place. And Callum, speaking about that, he's on 7 lap old hard, so it shouldn't be too hard for Bram to catch him up and get that P3 out of this race. He did have a quali ban, and look where he is right now. He's in P4, fighting for a possible podium in a few seconds, I would say. Few seconds, because it's 2 seconds behind, obviously, but that is obviously doesn't represent a short time span, but rather depends on how quick you catch up. I was about to say quick instead of quick. You mess up pronunciation in English, it can sound quite weak, quite right. We don't speak about that as weak as spins once again, like he's done at the start of the race, and gets last again. Gets into last place again. Hoshila now can hopefully say he's not last. So face getting time on Keys now. He could be going for the move right now. So will Mika Extra, but so with face actually Keys actually switching lane late there, and so Face was not prepared at all for it, but he has a better exit around turn 2. He's trying to go side by side, he's trying to gain the place on Keys. He has the better run here, and he gains the place on the Williams. The Shadow pits. For softs, I imagine. No, for mediums. Oh. That was unexpected. I thought it would be for soft, since you could make it, even though they don't last that much, but still it will last enough right now, even though they would be dead, but they still will last. And so like that gains the 8th place, but still has to make some more work to hope to try and gain more places than just P8 4 points. And that's what Jack Brand is doing on Bram right now. Bram, who's now the gap's dropped from 4 seconds to 2.6 seconds on Callum. And Callum knows he has to do more if he wants to keep that P3 and 15 points. He has enough EIS for it, so shouldn't have to worry that much. But tire wear will affect him. speaking about tyre wear, anyway, going on Mika Extra on a 1 lap younger tyre. Mika Extra doesn't look too convinced he's going to give that place up, but he has to, since otherwise he will cause collisions here. Oh! As Mika Extra there didn't actually want Face to overtake him, and that's caused not only a safety car, but Face to retire from the session now after having full wing damage and colliding with Sparks. Face may be actually furious at Mika Extra after that. Mika Extra got a bit loose there from going on the outside. And that's not his fault, even though he could have, you know, moved aside and let his academy make pass, but that's split second decisions you take. As sure goes for mediums, Toastman goes for new mediums, Toastman or softs. Street may be having quite of an issue here. Column, mediums. Let's see what. And Mechopper stays out. Mechopper stays out. Hold on. Hold on. Mechopper stays out. That's quite unexpected, I'm not gonna lie. That is quite unexpected. As after those pit stops we have Shui in the lead with mediums, Matt Copper in second, who stays out, which is quite odd, but he may pay off, I don't know, though he's got Toastman behind on softs. Meanwhile he's got 6 lap all mediums, Matt Copper's, Toastman on softs in third, Callum in fourth on mediums, Bram in fifth on softs, then we have Jack Brand in sixth on mediums, and Red in seventh softs, then everyone else on softs behind. That's Mika Haxra, Damio, Keys, Sparks, Jazz Misters, Jimbo, Hostler, Weakers, and Shadow, who's now pit and went to set us up. Safety car will go in at lap 23. Yeah, 23. Yeah, possibly 23, because I think Shadow will need a lap to catch up, so that will mean we'll catch up on lap 23 to the rest of the pack. Which means the softs will actually have enough wear. No, not enough wear, just, you know, we'll have enough laps to just last. And that's what you need when you're on softs. Couldn't say the same for Matt Copper, but he has 7 lap all mediums, but I think his tires may be 30%. Doesn't show, but I think they could be, since usually when you reach lap 12 you pit on medium, so I think that's what Matt Copper's tire was looking like. As we have a few more pit stops, that's Jimbo pitting, so that's why I said we'll be seeing the safety car going in lap 23. And if it is now, which it does, it's gonna be a late call, which is gonna catch multi drivers unprepared, I'm gonna assume. Damien against the on Keys, who now cannot gain the place on Damien, and that's not what you want at all, especially when you know you're fighting for a potential P2 in the driver standings. And as expected, Shadow and Jimbo will catch up to the safety car by lap 23. Jack 1 2 3 4 4 saying Toast is doing his last to first, and he is. Indeed he is. But he may have some, he may find an obstacle, that is Matt Copper, who could be trying to hold him off. Yeah. And who knows, Shui may be also trying to hold those men off. I think Shui will be the first person to actually do that. Since, you know, as much as they are academy mates, I don't think Shui will let those men by. Especially because Shui wants that P2 in the standings unless... No, wait, what am I saying? There's not P2 in the standings. Shui... Oh yeah, he is, my bad. He is. So yeah, he wants to keep that P2, so I don't think he'll be giving that P1 so easily. We'll have to see. But it will be a fight for sure. Since safety car is going in this lap, as we have Jimbo still a bit further away. Sparks bit from mediums, which is quite strange, don't gonna lie. Well, average a bit from softs to mediums. If you are lap 23 out of 27, you're literally 6 laps remaining. No, actually, yeah, 5 laps remaining. 5 laps remaining, and now will be 4 after we cross the line. So softs will last more than enough. As the safety car is in this lap. Safety car is in this lap. She will be controlling the restart of this final Tier 1 race with the grand finale in Tier 1 in FWL. For one last time, we go run Parabolica to restart this race. Shui picks up the split now, followed by Macop, Toastman, and Callum behind him. Callum, who looks way closer to Toastman than Toastman is to Macopper, and is already trying to go for it. Round the outside by us. Toastman blocks him off. And ahead we have quite a bit of lockups here. Jack Brown going on Animed already, who's on medium, so the softs already not having that grip they need. But Jack Brand, Animed now takes the place on Jack Brand, keeps the place, but Jack Brand looking to take that place. Now he has to stay behind for the boom win, doesn't want to risk anything here. Toastman meanwhile gets dropped to almost to P4 here by going side by side with Callum White. He doesn't need, because as I said, he could be finding obstacles here. And look at Shui already pulling a 1.7 gap on Matt Copper. That is not helping Toastman at all. As Callum is trying so hard right now, as he gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits, for extending the track limits. The Ascari entry, and behind we have a lot of cars following him. The DRS will be enabled at lap 26, so we'll have one lap of DRS at this, the final lap. Meanwhile, we have a few more cars going side by side with each other. That is almost making an extra on Jack Brand. He has to wait though. Animed locks up. Callum gets a bad exit, and Bram gains the place, and so does Animed. So does Jack Brand, and Callum rejoins the track in P7. Wants to get the place in Jack Brand here. He has to wait, but he sends it though. I thought he wouldn't, but he does send it. And this could be the same thing which happened to Mika Hackstrike. He won't though. Mika Hackstrike is so close behind him right now. And Callum knows he has to do something here, because his softs are coming to life right now. The softs are coming to life right now. It could have been the fact they had cold tires. Mika Hackstrike is now gaining time due to the high grip he has on those softs. He doesn't want to go side by side at that car. He knows it's too risky, and so he decides to wait. Damien Winoir catching up as we have a crash there. Oh my god, what is going on? The shadow completely smashed there. Wonder if it was due to Hosula or something, but that was so weird. to see. Shadow completely crashed into Ascari exit. That looked, I don't know what happened there, but I've seen someone going off, and I think that distracted Shadow something. I couldn't see properly what went on there. Mika Extra meanwhile gaining the place and keys, and will soon do so if he manages to do so on Cullen, who's 1 second behind. Is already not in DIS range. And Shadow now leaves the session. Sparks and Hostler going side by side. Jimbo gains a double overtake due to that, and Weaker spins again. Meanwhile, at the front, we have Toastman closing in on Matt Copper. He wants to gain the move, to get the move done already. But I think Shui here will be the one to win, unless he commits a mistake, which I hardly doubt he will. Callum is really, really close to make a hack from Meanwhile, so is Bram on Toastman. He's trying to go for the move right now on Toastman. Out of nowhere, Bram decides to break the eyes here, gain the place on Toastman and on Matt Copper. Toastman taking advantage of Bram overtaking to gain the place, but he doesn't, and so he has to stay behind. And meanwhile, Mika Extra and Callum also fighting for that 7th place. Anyone meanwhile almost getting the place. Toastman almost getting the place on Matt Copper. Anyone has to watch this fight behind. And Toastman, after a lockup, gains the place. Bram running in P2 right now after the amazing overtake he's pulled on both Toastman and Matt Copper. We call it a double overtake. Anyone getting a bit of a nap there at the Lesmo 1. Jack Brown gains the place of Matt Copper, who's losing quite a lot of places here onto a lap of mediums. That doesn't help him at all. He still tries to fight it though on Jack Brown. They go 3 wide at Ascari, and it goes terribly wrong as expected. Both the Aston Martin and the Mercedes spin out. You know, why would you think 3 wide at Ascari would have walked, honestly? So Matt Copper also spins at the exit of Ascari. And like that, sorry for not looking at you, Shui wins the finale for Tier 1 at Monza. Bram comes home in 2nd, Toastman in 3rd, Mika Haxter in 4th, Chasmister in 5th, then Damio, Jimbo, Hosula, Callum spins round the line in 9th, Sparks in 10th, Matt Copper in 11th, Jack Brand in 12th, then Enred after a last lap spin at Ascari, 13th, Keys 14th. A good end of the race for him, and Weekers really not pulled off here at Monza, but he gets 15th after that. That is your podium then. Toastman, after finishing, ending up last at lap 1, he still managed E3, which is not bad for him. Goes obviously to Shui and to Bram. After having a qualifying ban, he gets P2 still. That is then your final results for this race. Lap Shui then claiming the win with the fastest lap as well, 120.159. The only one on a 120, I think. Yes, that is the only driver on a 120. sums up the race pretty much. As Bram, then in P2, then Toastman, Mika Extra, Chasmiso, Damio, Jimbo, Hosler, Callum, Sparks, Matt Copper, Jack Brandt, Red, Keys, Wickes, Shadow, and Subwayface, Finn, Sheehan, and Jack Ledford. Thank you everyone for watching this finale for Tier 1. It's been a pleasure commentating for Tier 1, and I think we'll be seeing you all tomorrow for Tier 3 and Tier 2. Tier 3 will be racing also next week at Melbourne, since they missed it last week due to the real life race at Jeddah. But for Tier 1 it will be over tonight. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for Tier 3 and Tier 2. Then we'll be calling it over for Tier 1 and Tier 2, but we'll still have another race next Sunday for Tier 3. Bye for now.